We all bear treasured wounds. And for a long time, I kept the pain of what happened to me very close. And I realized that the reason for doing so was because I believed if I released it, the significance of what happened to me would be diminished. Because it was so life-altering, to be very polite. It was so devastating to me that I didn't want the significance of that to go. I also felt that letting it go was letting those people off the hook. But it didn't matter to them. They continued their life on as is, and it was me who continued the suffering by holding on to it. And of course, there was a long while there where my mental health severely suffered. And it was very hard for me to process what I was experiencing in any type of logical fashion. So I've been reading A Course in Miracles Made Easy by Alan Cohen, because I would like to do A Course in Miracles, but I thought I'd do this first to get an idea of what it's all about, and it's fantastic. And I'm just referring to the chapter, At Your Hand I Live. And it's talking about this, of course, treasured wounds. At your hand I live or die. It's up to you. So while I was hanging on to what had happened to me, and it was quite significant over a great deal of time, I was dying at their hands. Now, to turn it around, to live at their hands, is to turn the experience around and to find the gold within it. We often ask for things such as patience. I want to be more patient. So, how do you become more patient? By having your patience tested, by stretching that muscle. So be careful what you ask for. You want more peace in your life? Be prepared for chaos to teach you how to have peace in your life. Before everything fell apart, I know that I'd lost myself. I had compromised myself so much in that relationship. And the only way to find myself back was for total destruction. Boy, did that deliver. To give me the opportunity to build back. And to want to be independent, sovereign within myself. So how does that happen? Well, how about have everything stripped from you? Your whole world. Well, not everything. I still have my baby and my cat. And I truly did have just about everything stripped from me. My brain did not function. I've had to relearn how to use my mind. how it works now. And there is that certain beauty of when you are hitting rock bottom, when you are stripped back that much, you can rebuild with intention. But first you've got to figure out what you want to build. And then rebuild it with intention. Rebuild something that is more in alignment with who you truly are. And it is really fucking hard. It really is. You have to become a new person. I'm still doing that. And I can see what I've got to do and what I've got to change within. And I've already done so much of that. It's hard. So yeah, we all have treasured wounds. And it's an incredibly human thing to have. It's our comfort zone. It's hanging on to what we wanted. It's hanging on to the future we thought we'd have. It's hanging on to the pointed finger at somebody for what they did to you. But the world still goes on, doesn't it? Around us. The world still goes on. The world still goes on. Despite what you've been through or going through. Yeah, and it does make me emotional. It makes me emotional. Because it is hard. But what's the alternative? At your hand I die or live? So we need to become quite true to ourselves. And why am I emotional? Well, because it's a grieving process as well. And even though it's been 5 years since everything hit the wall, it's a process. It's such a process. And everyone has their own time. Everybody has their own timing. Don't judge your timing on others, on how others are doing. Some may bounce back quickly, but they'll bounce forward and back. I know it's not linear. It's a spiral, kind of like a spiral upwards. And you will make steps back. And it's a reminder, it's a gift. It's a reminder of where you were and where you don't want to be. But you won't come back down to that because you've got so much more behind you and learnings and experience behind you as a foundation. The foundation gets stronger and stronger as you go up and up and up. Sometimes you fall back a little bit more than the last time. It's okay. It's okay. It's all a gift. It's a gift to show you where you don't want to be. It's a springboard to come back up. So yeah, our treasured wounds. Are you holding on to any? Actually, it's probably not so. It's probably a good idea. I'll have a look. Am I holding on to any more treasured wounds? It's something to think about. And it's your perceived suffering, your perceived loss. But the thing is, where you are now is where you're meant to be. What happened was meant to happen. And your job is to make the most of that, to use that to your benefit, to learn, to grow. Often it's the only way that we have for that. And our bodies are also our teachers. It's no coincidence I have fibromyalgia. Well, diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And and if you don't know what that is, it's a chronic illness, which basically means muscle pain, but it is pain throughout the body. It's muscular, it's in your joints, it's headaches, it's within your system, it's all different types of pain. And when you have a flare up, it's not fun. You can very easily end up with chronic fatigue because it is tiring. And I have done all these protocols to improve it, and I am so much better. I am so blessed. Often these chronic illnesses are coming from us holding so tightly. Like, no wonder my muscles are so incredibly tense and in pain, because I am holding so tightly. To what? Onto what? What am I holding? And often people with chronic illness, their boundaries are crossed, and they're just holding in all these emotions, holding on to what was, what they wanted. And this is me. I'm holding on. I have been holding on. And I have done all the physical stuff, health-wise, not within Western medicine, because that, taking drugs, no, but with a functional doctor, understanding how my body works. Now I know I believe the final piece in the jigsaw is the emotional, is the letting go, is the rebuilding, this is my next up level. Because my body has been like this since being in the womb. Simple as that. Yes, that's possible. My treasured wound could very well be from the womb, because my parents' relationship is not healthy, and as a fetus, you hear all that. You feel it within your mother. You feel what she's going through. And this is over 50 years. It's going to be tough. I have to let that treasured wound go of 50 plus years that has formed my body, that is so innate. It's going to require a different level of thinking. Yeah. And that's where it's coming from. My thoughts, my language, it's rewiring everything. Yeah. This is a great book. And I will do A Course in Miracles as well. But I wanted to share that and be quite vulnerable, and this is what I am experiencing. And there is sometimes I have a level of imposter syndrome in what I want to achieve, because or who I want to help, because I'm not there yet. But the thing is, I have come from such a distance already from where I was when everything fell apart to where I am today. It's a lot. I have so much experience, so much wisdom to share because I've been through the shit. And now it feels like the final frontier, but it's not the final frontier. There never is one. We are never, ever, ever healed. We are healing. We are in the process. We are so many layers. And that's okay. That's cool. That's dealing with our karma and everything like that. But I know that despite the imposter syndrome, I have traveled so far in the last 5 years and learnt so much. In fact, my whole lifetime, in the last 5 years, I've also referenced a lot of my life. And I can help women who are at the start of that journey. And while I do this final part, I shouldn't say final because it's not final, but I do this big piece of my jigsaw puzzle of the rewiring and the fully letting go of those treasured wounds. It's daunting, and I think I will share it, the final letting go of the treasured wounds. My body is asking for it. It really is. My body is asking for it. So, treasured wounds. Now you know a little bit about them. Have a think about your treasured wounds. What are you hanging on to? What are you afraid to let go of? What wounds are you hanging on to justify your life, or to not want to diminish the significance of a profound event that had happened to you? Are you going to live or die at their hands? That's a big one, isn't it? That's a big one. You can feel the gravity of that. Are you going to live or die at their hands? Huge. You can feel it in your body. That's a tough one, and you might want to punch somebody for asking you that. It's very aggressive. But it does have a lot of gravity to it, and you may even feel quite a bit of resistance to it. But they did this. She said that. It's all really irrelevant to today. Don't hang on to it. Don't die at their hands. Use it to live your best fucking life. And with that, I think I will leave it there.